Hello, beautiful strangers, and welcome back to another episode of Crimson Gray. When last we left off, we saw another ending. I believe it was called the unsurprising outcome ending, as a matter of fact. And we started working our way to another, and we're currently on a date. And I told you, I promised, really, that everything would be fine, everything would go normally, and nothing bad would happen. And, well, let's get into that, shall we? I know that's silly. I'm just really happy. It's so romantic. So, how's everybody doing today? I'm okay. I'm the same as I was last episode. So I'm recording this immediately after. Anyway, I'm okay. I'm okay. How are you? Last time. No, not last time, but technically the last time we saw the scene, I guess, we immediately took her hand. But I think this time we'll just keep on talking. Deciding against it, John focused on keeping the conversation flowing. Lizzie actually wasn't getting a lot eaten since she didn't talk with her mouth full and listened rapidly whenever he talked. But at least she seemed to be having fun. After a while, Lizzie patted at her mouth with her napkin and sighed in satisfaction. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Lizzie giggled and squirmed in her seat as if she couldn't contain herself. That's just a single... Oh, talking about the whole house thing. Yeah, fair enough. They got onto the bus and Lizzie eagerly sat right beside him. The conversation had gone uninterrupted and he was worried it would feel awkward, but Lizzie didn't seem to mind. After a moment, she hesitantly slid her hand along his arm as if trying to take her hand, but was too nervous to do so. Well, I guess she started the initiative, so I guess we should just follow along, just take her hand. As Lizzie's fingers got closer, John moved to take her hand in his. She sighed happily and leaned her head against his shoulder. This feels so nice. Lizzie. This scene. I do like that picture. Not because it's because of the darker aspects of. Anyway. Also, I just like the art. I like they capture the dead stare quite well. What could have happened to Lizzie to give her those eyes? Was she born that way to her mother's mistakes, or had her mother driven that wedge between them? Her mother had looked kind in the picture, but John knew all too well what the worst parents could try to act like the most loving. When Lizzie had spoken of her mother earlier, her terms had been negative. He wondered briefly if there could have been some abuse of some kind. It was a painful thought, but maybe it would explain Lizzie's desperation for love. Or maybe he was just making up bullshit. He hated it when people made up sob stories about his condition, after all. John checked the next door, but it was locked or jammed, so instead he ambled back to the living room. Lizzie was probably almost ready. He wanted to be waiting for her when she was done. She finally emerged, wearing similar clothes that looked slightly more comfortable. Yes, let me go slip into something comfortable. Comes out wearing something extremely more uncomfortable. Yeah, that makes sense, me. Good job, me. John wasn't sure if he was relieved or disappointed. It wasn't lingerie, but he didn't mind seeing her dressed casually either. Lizzie smiled at his expression and came to sit beside him on the couch. I wish I would have worn a dress for our date, but I like this better. Dresses are nice, but they're pretty uncomfortable, you know? That depends on who you ask. I've worn skirts before. Kilt skirts, whatever. They're fucking comfortable. And, I mean, it was basically sort of, hey, I dare you to do this. And I did it because, you know, it was high school and it was basically, I dare you. No, I dare you. I fucking do it. And they're fucking comfortable. Breezy as hell. I hate wearing shorts, though. Anyway, if I could wear kilts, I would. I wish kilts were appropriate where I lived. Oh, man. Anyway. Actually, I don't. I'm just being silly. They really are uncomfortable, though. I do know women who've found dresses uncomfortable just in general, and I get it. Just, I don't know, they're breezy. I get hot really easily, and I hate being hot, so maybe that's what it is. And I live in a hot part of the country. You like it when you look at me, whether I'm trying to be beautiful or not. It makes me happy. She slid closer to him, apparently unaware of how much of her body was touching his. No, she was probably even more aware than he was. You make me happy. I'm glad I'm with you too, Lizzie. I'm so glad to hear you say that. John, I want you to stay here tonight. You meet with me. Together. As the night took a sharp turn, John did his best not to panic. He had not thought the date would actually go there, much less in such an obsessive way. But did he have to panic? Lizzie was usually this obsessive, and she brought it up in a mostly stable way. Besides, they were dating, and it wouldn't be strange for them to sleep together. And yet, the look in her eyes. Again, they did a really good job with Lizzie's facial expressions. She's definitely got that crazy eye thing going on. John? Can you deny Lizzie? Should we deny Lizzie? Should we convince her to wait? Or what? What should we do? Aha. Take a drink is what we should do, and let the moment sink in. I'm just going to gush even more. I really like the character design for Lizzie. Genuinely, it's really good. I think they did a really good job of characterizations. I know there's not a ton of different, because I've looked at the sprite. I have a copy of the sprite sheet. There's not a ton of different expressions and whatnot, but I think the expressions that they made work perfectly well, and they do a fantastic job of conveying them. It's really good. They did a really good job. Sierra Lee and I apologize. I cannot remember the artist's name. Did a fantastic job with this. Really, they did. But I think we will sleep with Lizzie. Okay, I'll stay with you. Oh, John. Lizzie leaned even closer, kissing him gently. For the first time in a very long time, John tried to relax and just be with someone. Out of curiosity. Yeah, okay. There is in the bottom right corner of this, when you have the 18 plus patch, there's an option to turn it on and off. I was halfway debating installing it and then turning, NSFW content or whatever it was off. And just kind of leaving it at that to see if there was any changes, but I didn't bother because I don't think. I'm like 99.99% certain the only changes are there's no H scenes. Anyway. She slid one of her legs over his, climbing into his lap and wrapping her arms around his head to deepen the kiss. A moan of pure satisfaction escaped her lips, resonating through him. You want this, don't you? God, Lizzie, don't stop. But she did, going still and holding his face with both hands so that he met her eyes. He shivered as he saw the unfettered desire in her unblinking eyes. I want you, John. I want all of you. But I want all of you, every last bit. I need you to... I need to know you want this. Lizzie, I've never met anyone like you before. I won't lie and say everything has been easy, but you're one of the only things that brings any color to my life. I still can't quite believe you want someone like me, but if you really do, I want you so badly. She responded with a kiss of searing intensity, then pulled back and began tugging at their clothes. When I'm done, you'll never be able to doubt it again. Lizzie drew him to the couch and caught him in another kiss, and for the first time, and then for a time, they lost themselves in each other. I found you. That was amazing. I did scan through quite a few scenes to see if there was a difference, and because I always have to check in visual novels and hope I can find another visual novel that makes me laugh as much as the H scenes in Fate Stay Night did the first time I read them. Man, these are fine. I actually think if you're interested in going and reading them, if you own this game on Steam or the itch.io version, the 18 plus patch is free. And you can download them from Sierra Lee, I think, from her itch.io page, I think. Anyway, they're actually really well written. They're quite short for the, 2, I think, that I read. They're not, like the writing quality, I don't really care about 8 scenes. The writing quality is quite good. Like I said, I've mentioned before, I think Sierra Lee is quite a decent, at worst, decent writer. But I think Sierra Lee is quite a good writer. She gets across her points and the intentions very, very well in her writing, and, well, that's something that's quite difficult to do. Anyway, yes, so good. I'll remember this moment forever. Oh, shit, I didn't put a condom on or anything. You could get Shh. She silenced him with a kiss, less intense than before, but still enough to take his breath away. God, I need to stop bouncing my foot. Sorry if you can hear my chair bouncing. I have a very bad habit of bouncing my foot. We don't need to worry about that. I have an IUD. Out of curiosity, I looked this up when I first played it and I've already forgotten. When were IUDs invented? When were IUDs commercially available? For decades, introduced to the U.S. market in 1988. So, this would have to be at the absolute earliest 1988. Interesting. I wonder if that was done on purpose. That's according to a vague Google search that they were FDA certified in 1988. Anyway. What? It doesn't matter. What it means is that we can't get pregnant unless we want to. Okay. Is it as good as a condom? No condoms. I need to feel you. Feel you completely, utterly, absolutely. After a moment, he decided that he would just have to trust her. He had trusted her this far, after all. If somebody ever tells you that in real life, don't trust them. But this is a visual novel and nothing bad will ever happen. Ever. Anyway, John wrapped his arms around her and held her close. They were sweaty and sticky, but Lizzie obviously didn't care, and with her resting against him so peacefully, neither did he. That night, they slept together, literally, just lying in the same bed with their clothes back on. Lizzie curled up against his side, and to his surprise, he went to sleep very quickly. When he woke up the next morning, he found she was gone, but he could smell something cooking in the kitchen. John climbed out of bed and wandered towards the kitchen. There, he found Lizzie merrily humming to herself and working on several dishes at once. Oh, you're awake. I was going to bring you breakfast in bed, but you woke up too early. It smells great. He thought he should hug her from behind or give her a kiss or something, but he felt strangely shy. Lizzie didn't seem to mind, instead urging him to sit down and relax instead of helping. That felt awkward, but with Lizzie in such a good mood, he decided not to contradict her. As she bustled around the kitchen, frequently shooting him adoring glances or kissing him on the cheek, there was no hint of instability. Did you sleep okay? I really, really hope you did. Yeah, it was fine. Because I've never cared about how comfortable that bed was, but then I realized it might be uncomfortable. If it was, I can get rid of it. It's okay, Lizzie. I was completely comfortable. Yeah, I'm lucky in the fact that I prefer softer beds because I sleep on my side, and side and hip pressure is bad in firm beds. But I used to willingly sleep on the floor and on a small futon mat on the floor because it was comfortable, and I was a fucking weird kid. I was a weird teenager. I did that in my teenage years. So I'm lucky and I can sleep technically in just about anything, but my being older and my fucking neck will hate me, I'm sure. Anyway. Oh good, I wanted everything to be perfect. I had so many plans, but then I thought I might have forgotten something, and Now he did get up to kiss her. It felt strange, but she responded with a blissful cooing noise. Breakfast was finished soon, an impressive spread of bacon, eggs, and waffles. Lizzie sat and watched him eat the first bite before she took any for herself. They only chatted lightly as they ate, as if making up for how heavy things had been before. It helped him fully wake up, though, and reassured him that Lizzie wouldn't do anything crazy. God, a breakfast like that, like bacon, eggs, and waffles, yeah, that would be fucking dead. If I eat a heavy breakfast, I always am taking a nap. I cannot eat a heavy breakfast, I get tired. Probably not a good thing, but it depends on the person, because I've known plenty of people like that. Yeah, a big breakfast, not just a big meal, it has to be specifically a big breakfast will make me, tired. Well, do anything crazy in the near future about this. Did you like it? It tasted just as good as it smells. Oh, good. I've never really cared about the taste of food, so I was afraid that I hadn't done a good job. You just didn't care about taste? It never seemed to matter, but this breakfast tasted good because I was eating it with you, John. I'm glad, but sorry, I have to go back a second there. You didn't really enjoy food? That's kind of sad. I wasn't sad. I wasn't really, but that's not what's important right now. We can talk about it later. He considered pressing, but decided against it. After all, he hated it when people harassed him about details of his condition. If Lizzie was working through her problems, he wanted to be helpful, and that meant backing off sometimes. Good advice. Actually good advice. So, I'd like to spend the entire vacation with you, like every single day, but maybe you want some space too? Well, it's okay, really, but I can walk with you to the bus stop? Of course. She did walk with him, holding his hand almost shyly. It seemed bizarre that she could be acting shy after they'd had sex, but John decided that it made sense. She showed a pattern of getting closer, then retreating for a while. He found that depression and energy came in waves as well, and it was better to ride them out instead of fighting the trends. Besides, maybe distance would do her a little good. When they reached the stop, she let go of his hand, but grasped his sleeve to keep him there. You liked it, right? Liked what? Everything. Our date, our breakfast, and last night? Yeah, I did. You're incredible, Lizzie. I still can't believe you're interested in me. And I don't scare you, do I? You want me to change? He stared at her for a moment, trying to decide what kind of question that was, then eventually shrugged. You seem just fine to me. Is everything all right? It is now. I actually stopped taking the Nelazine the day before our date. Man, my voice is... Need to take a drink or something. It was a bit gunky. Anyway. I have a choice. She stopped taking her medicine and... Well, you know what? She stopped taking her medicine. But she seems to be doing better. She seems to be doing better, and that's the important thing, so we'll accept it. Oh. Well, you seem to be better for several days. I guess maybe you didn't need it after all. Sorry for making you take it. No, it was helpful. I saw things a little clearer, but I think I've had enough. That's nothing like my condition, but I guess you know yourself best. I'm glad it helped then. I just wanted to let you know, you don't need to be worried about me. I know you're mine now. Not exactly a comforting statement, but it seemed clear that Lizzie was doing her best to be reassuring. She looked at him so earnestly, he couldn't bring himself to do anything but agree. Thanks, Lizzie. Let's take care of our homework, then we can spend more time together later in the vacation, okay? Okay, see you soon, John. Thinking about it, do we actually have a way to contact her? Like a phone number? There weren't really cell phones popularly available at this point. They existed, but some fucking two dumbass high school kids didn't have them, that's for sure. After watching her go for a little while, he got on and headed back home. Without her constant energy beside him, he felt a lot more subdued, but didn't slide into depression. John still wasn't sure how he felt about everything. He was happy, that was obvious, but he wondered just how stable Lizzie really was. Could things have gone very differently under different circumstances? But they didn't, so he couldn't waste energy worrying about it. For now, he was happy to return home and slide into a normal routine for a while. He spent the rest of Saturday working on the assignments he'd been given for the vacation. It was nothing too bad, but combined with chores around the house, he didn't get anything done. He spent the rest of the Saturday working on the assignments he'd been given for the vacation. It was nothing too bad, but combined with chores around the house, he didn't get anything done. His father called once to say that he was headed on a surprise company vacation. That was just as well. The house felt awkward with him around. As John went to sleep that night, he decided he would spend Sunday finishing his work or maybe even hanging out with someone else. Then he called Lizzie to get together on Monday. That seemed like an appropriate length of time to wait. Despite his concerns, she really did seem content. If she could wait until Monday, maybe he could put his worries behind him. Hell, I think this is going to be a good stopping point for this episode. And, well, can Lizzie wait until Monday? Now that is a question. That is a question. Well, find out the answer to that and more next time on Crimson Gray. I hope to see you all there.